Hello, my name is Shulamit, and I'm the creator of the MetaSounds process. Every Sunday at noon, I host a Zoom meeting for us to explore wisdom teachings and experience the healing power of MetaSounds. These meetings are made possible by generous donors. Please help this site thrive by liking and subscribing, and please join our newsletter at greatoctave.com to receive notices of our events. Welcome, everybody. Today I want to talk about spirituality. There has been a lot of material in the press about spirituality, people saying that this is a moment in time when there will be a lot of people awakening to another level, and that, some people won't, of course, and that's part of the tension of what's going on now. One part of the population going to a wider consciousness and the others remaining the same. But I don't want to comment on that so much. I just want to talk about what is the meaning of spirituality, because it's a word that's thrown around a lot. In the not so distant past, the religious institutions were the ones who defined this for everybody. But people have been turning away from that and trying to seek their own path to connection. Meditation is much more widespread and popular than it was even 20 years ago. And people who meditate do occasionally come into contact with a very abundant reality that they can sense, that they can feel, not something talked about, but something real. And it feels enlightening. It feels very hopeful and very rich. And it is indeed very rich and very hopeful. The difficulty is that if you haven't prepared yourself, it might just be a fleeting experience, one that you can't recapture at will. You might want to recapture it at will, but you will probably be unable to unless you have prepared the ground, because it's a very different way of perceiving reality. But more than that, I think it's important to understand that when you become spiritually alive and awake, you perceive, you understand, you know it in your bones that everything is connected to everything else, that you are part of something greater. I mean, you're yourself, you're completely yourself, but you're also part of something much more abundant and much greater, much more sustaining than your limited abilities. And when that happens, you become much more compassionate, and you begin to look at people, even your so-called enemies, in a different light. We're all here together at this time, living our lives and trying to go through our lives with greater understanding, because we all suffer. And when we suffer, we really want to enlarge our point of view. Otherwise, we run the risk of becoming bitter and very, very sad. So it's not so much that you have to have the goal of feeling that, but that is, to me, the definition of it. It's seeing the awe and the grandeur in everything that you look at, in the creation and the diversity, in the bugs and the big animals and the human beings with all their flaws. And this becomes even more important at a time when it seems as if humanity, or the very concept of being human, is under threat, because we are going to be merged, possibly, with machines. And we are going to be out-thunk. There's going to be machines that can think better than us, faster than us, quicker than us. I guess they're doing that already. But they're still machines. I mean, I guess at a certain point, people are talking about the robots becoming conscious. I mean, that's been in science fiction forever, and it might I have no idea whether it's possible or not. Becoming self-aware, being able to replicate itself, being willing or able or interested in taking over the world, and we become the subjects of it. But that's not the point right now. The point right now is to remember that to be fully human is to recognize that you have an eternal aspect to yourself, an eternal soul that is connected on a very profound level that you may not feel, but nevertheless exists. You can feel it because in your being, you have the capacity to not only experience the pleasures of material life, food and sex and whatever, and enjoyment of various sorts, but you also have within you a spiritual component that connects you to the highest. You have all of that going on, so I'm sorry, I lost my thread. You can experience the pleasures of life while you're experiencing the spiritual aspects of life. A lot of people fear becoming so-called spiritual because they think it'll be a real downer. They won't be able to have a good time anymore. Everything will be forbidden or constrained, or, they won't be able to have love or sex or whatever. This is simply not true. Yes, you do everything that you did before, only you do it with more light in your life. So you're not going to debase it. You're not going to overuse it. You're not going to destroy it through greed or excessive desire to repeat, certain kinds of peak experiences and so on. You can have it all. It's just a different point of view. And it's one that's essential for us getting through this time, because everything is so polarized that we begin to see the other as not human, as not worthy of respect, as not worthy of love, of being contemptible and something that you can just snuff out. So, for example, I understand in the media people talk about empathy being toxic, and we've gone too far with that. And, this is all just trends and fashion. To live joyously means to live compassionately. I'm not talking about empathy now, which is really feeling what other people feel, but compassion is the ability to see in others yourself and be able to be kind about it, because, well, first of all, we're not very kind to ourselves, but we should cultivate that kindness and then be able to spread it around, not because we're superior or because we're trying to be, holy or sacred or better than anybody, but because that's the reality. We really are. We're very different. We come from different cultures and different faiths and different races and different nations. We are different, but we are also the same. We're also people who are born and who die and who don't know where they came from nor where they're going. In the height of our strength, when we're, physically strong and capable and doing well in life, we begin sometimes to get confused. We think that we're the doer, that we made these things happen, that we're brilliant, that we're together, that we're better than other people who haven't succeeded in this way. But everything that we have built can be taken away, and you get to a certain age and you experience it. It's not an abstraction once you get to a certain age. I mean, of course, it happens at any point in life. There's no rule. But certainly as you get older, you begin to lose things. The children you raise may leave you, may not call, or they may be lovely, but they may turn out very differently than you thought that they would turn out or that you hoped that they would turn out. Your people that you love can leave you or die or whatever. I mean, things happen, things that you build, and then your health and so forth. So what you need is something much more sustaining. And much more sustaining is the fact that you are, despite the fact that you can be, to some degree, tossed around by fate, you are also solid because you belong to something deeper, that your core is attached to something deeper. And when you begin to I don't mean realize it in the abstract and read about it and say how nice it is and yeah, I get it, but I mean to really feel it in your bones, to really know that despite whatever your greatness or goodness or, just your doing wellness is, you are still a very humble being, very humble, and not so wise and terrific as you think you are. But you're also not nothing. You're not you're not a miserable little creature who has nothing. You have your soul and your connection. And to find that connection, which is available to every single living being, is a beautiful thing. Now, some people have it from Jump Street. They're born with it, they never lose it. But those people are rare, especially in this culture, in Western society. Maybe in some indigenous cultures, they're closer to that. But in Western culture, you're pretty far from it. You believe in the mechanistic view of reality. You believe that everything is what? Data or molecules that can be manipulated. And yet the mysteries of the world are enormous. They're enormous. And I'm not a physicist, so I don't claim this knowledge, but I certainly hear of these mysterious and fabulous things from time to time that are pretty hard to believe. For example, the future can influence the past. I mean, that's pretty weird, right? Okay, so let's get back to the basics. It's not enough to say you're spiritual because you pray. It's not enough to say you're spiritual because you try to conduct a moral life. It's the result of coming into an awareness of basically awe and beauty and connection, and understanding that you're connected to everything that is. Now, does that bring you a secure life? Does that bring you guaranteed happiness and success and freedom from loss? No, it does not. There's a saying in the Zohar, mystical text from the 12th century, that if the angel of death has permission to take a lot of souls, then you better run and hide because your virtue is not going to protect you. Things happen to each of us that are difficult to bear. Those things happen. I don't know why. I don't know why they happen. Is it karma? Is it random? I have no idea. But it doesn't matter because we suffer. We suffer because we lose. Not only do we lose people and objects and material stuff, but we also lose a sense of what it means to be a safe and secure person and protected and living and so forth. What does that mean? Because we do conduct our lives, a large portion of it, trying to protect ourselves. So tragedies tend to usually wake us up. You can fall back and say, life is random, there is no God, or God hates me, or whatever your story is. But you can also use reverses as a way to come into a greater understanding and a greater consciousness. So true spirituality, which is what people are working toward, is this awareness of connection to each other and to forces beyond our understanding. If you can do that, if you can come to that place, you will find that life changes quite a bit and that you can bear sorrows with greater grace and experience joy to greater depth. We're just passing through. But while we're here, we have contributions to make. We're not unimportant. We exist. We come before everybody that came before us, and we stand before the next generations that come after us. Well, that's what we're here for. We're here right now. And if we can get more and more people, and I'm talking about ourselves, to wake up to this reality that we're connected, that we have a deep connection to the abundant reality that sustains us, then we might be able to soften this difficult period that we're going through. And at the end of this difficult period, things will get bright again. And hopefully, we will bring with us a new state of consciousness. Everything in life seeks balance. The climate is seeking balance. That's why it's going a little bit crazy right now. And we seek balance in our partnerships and in ourselves. But the key thing to remember is that balance is available inside you if you follow a disciplined path. And that depends on your inclination, your religion, or whatever, what path you might follow. I myself use the sound meditation and a self-observation practice. This is what I teach people to do so that they can bring this kind of beauty into their lives. So on that note, I am going to begin sounding, and your job is to just relax and receive the sounds. If you want, you can concentrate on something that you would like to have, that might be bothering you. I'm not talking about something material, but something more in the spiritual or emotional realm. And if not, just let the sounds wash over you. Thank you for joining me today and being part of our community. I invite you to join us every Sunday at noon Eastern Time for the full live experience. Wishing you a wonderful week, and I look forward to connecting with you soon. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Visit greatoctave.com for more details about these webcasts, our newsletter, donations, and more.